Well, it was supposed to be a bounce-back game for the Dallas Cowboys, but instead it was Dallas walking off the field searching for answers for questions that they came in with. 27-17, the final in AT&T Stadium, and it was a game where missed opportunities and stalled drives pretty much told the story. Welcome into Cowboys Flashback. I'm your host, Nicole Hutchison, and it was a collective effort, meaning everybody had a hand in this loss. You start about the offense, the Cowboys offense that typically plays better at home. Well, they were held to just 10 points. Of course, they had protection issues back-to-back weeks that led to inconsistencies in the run game. Dak Prescott under duress the entire night, sacked 5 times, but that was not the amount of pressure that he faced on Monday night. The defense as well, no answers for Arizona, specifically on third downs, but we knew coming in, Arizona had one of the better third down teams in extending drives, and Dallas is one of the worst teams in the NFL in giving up third down conversions. But it led to Arizona dictating the tempo, playing well, playing balanced, something we had not seen much of out of Arizona as well. And you thought that they had an opportunity, right, after that blocked punt, return for a touchdown by Marshawn Nealon. But no, the Cowboys not able to take advantage. Let's hear from Dak Prescott and Brian Schottenheimer after the game.
Yeah, very disappointing and disappointing, very frustrating. Knowing that you're better than that and going out there and not putting a performance close to your standard or even the expectations or what you thought you could do and expected to do against this team, and credit to those guys. That's the beauty of the NFL. Like, games, plays, stats, none of that's done on paper. You've got to go out there and you've got to earn it that night with everything taken into account. And they kicked our ass and both sides of the ball. Limited the possessions early, but I mean, we don't score on the first drive, don't score in the red zone. The next drive, I think 3-4 and out. Then we fumble when we're going to get a field goal, and then they were trying to kick a 70-yard field goal to even get points before half. That makes it tough, and then try to make adjustments in the second half. But when you're down like that in the NFL game, we still had a chance, and then we didn't take advantage of the opportunities and the moments that we had in the second half. Very frustrating.
What's happened with the rhythm on offense? You guys were going so well, you were going so well, and it seemed like the last 2 weeks you guys have not been able to get anything going.
If I had that answer, we wouldn't be struggling, to be honest with you, and not to leave it at that, but that's what this bye week's for. We've got to figure it out. We've got to figure out how we need to improve, obviously, in all phases of the game. I mean, special teams did a hell of a job tonight getting us a touchdown. That was the only spark, I think, in the game for the most part, especially in the first half. And that's what this bye week's going to be all about. Me personally, hope everybody on this team individually, and I know for sure as a staff and an organization, it's going to be about how can we improve and fix these last 2 weeks that are nowhere close to anything that we want to be.
I thought first and second down we were awesome. I thought we did a really good job on first, second down. I thought we affected the passer. I know we had 5 sacks. I thought some of the 5-1 stuff that we did was really good, very effective. Our biggest problem on defense was third down. We just struggled to get off the field on third down. And, conversely, when they got in the red zone, we weren't able to get them to kick field goals. So we got to be better. I think this game came down to really 3 things. The giveaway takeaway battle, which we were not very good. We were loose with the ball all day, -3. You're never going to win games in this league being -3, and really the last one doesn't count, for Dak. He's just launching up there on 4th and forever. And then the situational football. We weren't able to sustain enough drives because we weren't very good on third down, and they did a good job, and they converted some thirds and longs.
Clarence Hill, DLS Cowboys. You've been bad on third down all year, last in the league coming into the game. What's been the problem on third down?
Yeah, different reasons. For most of the game, it was not, or most of the season, it's been, not being able to get pressure on the quarterback. This game, I just thought there was some big voids that they were taking advantage of. I thought Marvin Harrison played really well. They obviously were trying to get him involved, and they did that. But, again, I just felt like that, without studying the film, there were some big voids. And, again, we just got to look at it. But I thought the pass rush was really good. And, again, they did a better job protecting on third down than we did offensively. So now I got to look at that.
Third downs was a major problem for the offense and also the defense as well. And Coach Schotty talking about complimentary football. Didn't see much of that against Arizona in Monday night. All right, we're going to have more for you on Cowboys Flashback. Up next, we have Javonte Williams, and we hear from Tyler Smith. after the break.
Dallas Cowboys Flashback, powered by Reliant, is brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And by Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Turnover on downs, a punt, and a fumble. That was just the first 3 drives of the game, and that pretty much spoke volumes of how this offense had a rough day in the offense against Arizona in Monday Night Football. You talk about a Dallas offense that's averaging over 40 points per game at home, held to just 10, and they were able to move the ball. It was just the execution just wasn't there. And like I've mentioned before, the protection issues up front allowed inconsistencies in this run game. You had long drives stalled by turnovers and ending in possibly just field goals, missed throws, drops, you name it. You saw it against this Dallas Cowboys offense. Now, 5 sacks, that doesn't tell the full story of how much pressure Dak Prescott was in. He had 19 pressures on 39 dropbacks, 9 hits, and 4. An offense that's built on balance and efficiency. It certainly didn't pay off on Monday night.
Yeah, going into the bye week, we just wanted to win. I feel like it was just a couple key plays that kind of changed the game.
What was it about kind of the first 3 quarters offensively that you guys couldn't really get any momentum going and finishing drives?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe the communication was off. We just wasn't executing on our plays like we did all week in practice. But hats off to them. They played a good game.
Do you still believe in this team that they can make a playoff run?
For sure.
What flipped the switch for the fourth? What did go right that made you all spark it up?
Yeah, we just got playmakers. I feel like we just got hot. Everybody started rolling, and once we get that one play to get us going, I feel like it just wasn't nothing that could really slow us down.
Their pass rush was average to below average statistically in terms of sacks. Did they do some different things today? They did a good job of getting pressure on Dak today.
Yeah, maybe it was just communication. I don't really know what it was. Probably the backs we could have just tripped a little bit better. But as a whole offense, we just got to play. We got to play better.
I just think about the game. I think more about the stuff we did that kind of disrupted our flow. Early on we started well. We moved the ball really well. Then we get to the 6-yard line. We have a negative run, and then we throw incomplete passes. Ultimately, we go for it on 4th down, and we don't get it. That's just not the way you want to start. Ultimately, I think, then we have some self-inflicted wounds down the line, penalties that push us back to 2nd and long and 3rd and long. And I felt like, there was a solid defense. I felt like they plugged gaps well, but I don't feel like they truly beat us in terms of, just defensive scheme or things they were doing to shut down our offense. I just think we didn't execute very well.
Could you talk about how maybe in the second half there was opportunities to get back in this thing and they just didn't quite work out?
There were opportunities, and we had a scoring drive. Even there at the end of the game, I felt like we were driving down. I gave up a sack. I felt like that was, in that situation, it's hard. It's unacceptable. And, we have to execute in those situations, especially if we're trying to be a championship team. And so, I take responsibility, for my part. And, ultimately, we just got to execute. We can't have, a couple guys showing up to work and then the rest of us just not executing the way we need to. And so I think that's something we really have to address on the bye week and just, in the games moving forward, and we will address it.
You mentioned the bye week. Is this a good time for the bye week, or would you rather just get back at the grind?
I think so. Guys got to get their bodies back, myself included. And we just got to, ultimately, we got to look in the mirror. We can look at things that we've done, do our self-scout over the week, and see who we are as players right now, see where we want to go ultimately with the rest of the season. And so I think it's an opportunity for us to just slow down and kind of take a look at, what we've done so far and how we need to be better.
What's crazy? Even getting behind like they did, they still had opportunities late. The second to last drive of the game, Dak Prescott able to move the chains a little bit with his legs, but then Javonte Williams fumbles. The final drive of the game, Dak was sacked twice. 3 sacks combined on those last 2 drives. Well, a lot of self-reflecting for this Cowboys offense. Also a lot of self-reflecting for this Cowboys defense. We're breaking it down up next.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
When it rains, it pours, and it was another day that the Dallas defense just couldn't catch a break, giving up 27 points to a 2-5 Arizona Cardinals offense. Welcome in to Cowboys Flashback, Nicole Hutchison. It was another week that a Cowboys opponent took a page out of the previous opponent's playbook, right? Dicing up the secondary, giving up 261 yards and 2 touchdowns to an Arizona offense that's been struggling for the most part of the year. Cowboys' inability to stop the run, too many missed tackles in open space. And you talk about an Arizona team that was the only team in the NFL that didn't have a touchdown drive of 74 yards or more. Well, the Cowboys allowed 2 in week 9. Let's hear from Kenny Clark and Deron Bland after the break.
Very disappointing. We got to play better. Got to start faster as a defense. Didn't get off the field on third down for the majority of the game, especially in the first half. And then, we got to just play complementary football. Got to play better.
I'm sure you've been a part of defenses that have turned a corner during a season. What has been the biggest key on those teams to making a shift to try and find a way to start playing like that?
Just sticking together. It's a long season, and it's a lot of ups and downs. It's a roller coaster, and the biggest thing is just keeping the guys together, keep them believing, keep them trusting, our process and what we got going on, and that's the only way we're going to be able to turn it around.
Does the bye come at a good time?
Yeah, it's a good time to reflect. It's right in the middle of the season, and it's really the breaking point for us. We got to figure some stuff out. All of us got to look in the mirror, and just figure out the solutions.
Can you have a balance of good individual performance with the frustrations of the team?
The plays is gonna come. The plays is gonna be the plays, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of stuff that happened in that first half that we all had a part of, and we all could have made more plays and started the game that way, and really started the game that way, and that would have put them in more negative situations, and we would have been able to get off the field. So it's good and the bad. You gotta just take it for what it is. Happy about the performance, but at the end of the day, we didn't get a win.
Nah, they didn't do nothing differently, but we just got to play better.
So what do you learn from today?
Just play better.
What are you going to do over the bye?
Sit back, and just look at what we need to work on, and then go from there.
Is there anything, we're 9 weeks into Fluke's system. You know what I'm saying? Like, at what point is it just something ain't sticking, or is it just are we still talking communication on the field, or what are we talking about?
Just gotta get on the same page, just help each other out there,
Yeah.
There were a lot of frustrations from that Dallas defense in the locker room post-game, and rightfully so, because you got a couple of 3rd and shorts, but it's really those 3rd and longs that they were just not able to get off the field. We're talking 3rd and 14s, 3rd and 16s, 3rd and 10. The list can go on. So a lot of self-reflecting, like the theme of this locker room has mentioned, but we're going to break it all down. More George Teague up next here on Cowboys Flashback.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
It ain't my job, like I told him, it ain't my job to figure it out. It's my job to play D-line and D-end and try to do my job. The game is complementary football. That's what you got to play. When they get a drive, we get a stop. Got to get to the offense. Hopefully they can put it in the points. And when they drive and score, we got to go back out there and get 3 and out. Sometimes we did that, and sometimes we didn't. Like I told them, it's a complementary football league. They get paid, we get paid to do their job, and they did their job a little better than we did today.
Been here long enough now. Why the inconsistency every week? Can you put your finger on it?
Like I said, that's not my job to put my finger on that. I go in there, get my game plan, figure out what I need to do, and try to execute that during the game, and try to get a good job for that. So I don't know what's going on the back end. I don't know what's going on the other side for me. I just try to do what I can do and help the team.
Welcome back into Cowboys Flashback. Nicole Hutchison alongside George Teague, and I've got to just ask you off the top. Jadeveon Clowney saying pretty much that's not his job to figure out what went wrong with the consistency and things like that. What's your thoughts on what he has to say?
I respectfully disagree because as a player, I just remember times when maybe things weren't going well and had the opportunity to talk to Coach Zimmer or anyone else as a player. They would often ask, hey, what can we do? What can we say? How we can do that? Maybe you don't have all the answers, but I could give them some type of perspective on how we felt as players, on what was happening. Is it too hard? So I love that when a coordinator would come to me and ask me for the input. Doesn't mean he's going to do what I asked, but it was important enough for them to find out how we felt as players.
Yeah, and I think it's important to realize that it's a collective effort, right? It's not just on the coordinators, it's on the players who need to also execute what the coordinators are asking them to do. So that means your veteran guys have got to step up and help a lot of these younger guys, specifically when you have performances like that on Monday night against the Arizona Cardinals. And talking about this defense, stacking continuously bad performances, and you got to start with third downs. Of course, allowing a NFL league high of 54% conversion rate in history, and they allowed 54% conversion rate to the Arizona Cardinals. What went wrong, George?
I feel like you're trying to break up with me over here, Nicole. I don't know what's going on, man. You hit me in the heart. I can tell you what went wrong. So I want to talk about this third down. You were talking about it. So we got a pass play first. 3rd down and 14. That is converted. So if we want to go ahead and get to this real fast, I need for y'all to be able to see this. We got a pass rush. It's going up. Okay, all 5 of these guys are going to get up the field. This is good, okay? We're going to let it run. This is a very good piece, right? So we got pressure. This is what we want to have, all right? So if you go ahead and go to the next clip, to the back end, now let it go. All right, so we got zone on the back end instead of man. Typically when you send 5, you have man-to-man coverage, but now you got the open hole in the zone. Okay, so if you go ahead and go to the next clip, the very next play, so they hit us with a pass, now they hit us with this run. It's very interesting. This is a counter play, right, with 3 pullers this time, okay? They're gonna go back like this to block. They don't even block the front side safety. All right, so you let it go. Good jump cut by DeMarcado. Man, now you're running right at the safety. So explosive play in the pass, explosive play in the run. That makes for a tough day of defense anywhere in the league.
Yeah, missed tackles. I feel like we're pretty much saying the same thing every single week. It's missed tackles. It's inability to stop the run, explosive plays in the secondary, which granted there are a lot of injuries there, but I know, former player, no excuses. There's certainly no excuses for this defensive performance. The guys are taking accountability, so we do love that, but it's the bye week. We'll see how the guys are handling. We hear from head coach Schottenheimer up next.
To watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Dallas Cowboys Flashback, powered by Reliant, was brought to you by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And by Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
We're back to wrap things up here on Cowboys Flashback, and another tough loss for the Dallas Cowboys, falling in Monday Night Football 27-17, the final in their home turf in AT&T Stadium. But now this week is all about finding some answers. Let's hear from head coach Schottenheimer on what he had to say.
I think it gives you time to find answers and find solutions and ask more difficult questions and look at everything. I mean, you're looking at where you stand at this point, and again, I see a team that's very inconsistent, and that starts with me. That's not on them. That starts with me. We got to play better offensively. We're better than 10 points, which is all we scored. Great job by Sam on the punt block, special teams, but for us to score 10 points offensively is not the standard, and no one's happy about that.
Well, it's back to the drawing board for this Cowboys team as a whole, but starting with this offense, they're really trying to get back to how they started this NFL season, right? The flashy plays, explosive plays, leaning on their playmakers in a CeeDee Lamb and also a George Pickens, getting that round game going, and Javonte Williams as well. But now the film is out there. How creative can head coach Brian Schottenheimer get now that there's a lot of teams that know his tendencies? On the defensive side of the ball, well, they need a lot of work to do as well, a lot of cleaning up to do in this bye week. You talked about penalties, missed tackles, keep adding up and taking a toll on this team. got to clean those up. But the trade deadline, the Cowboys making some new additions, specifically in Logan Wilson, hoping that a former third-round pick in 2020 can help bolster this linebacker room that has had their fair share of challenges as well. But a lot of self-reflecting. The Cowboys back to the drawing board. They've got the Raiders up next, fresh out of the bye week. But happy bye week, Cowboys Nation.